Hey guys, George here, and I'm going to bring to you a video about sewer movement. So for that, we definitely need our thinking cap. As you can see here, there are two Soviet soldiers, and they're depicting what actually took place during the Great Patriotic War, and Stalingrad in particular, which was to move below the Germans uh, and to establish, I guess, areas where they can recuperate and ambush the Germans from behind, and a whole lot of other stuff. Now, the pictures that you see before you, I wasn't the one who created them. You'd never guess who did. And it's actually artificial intelligence. Welcome to 2023. So these pictures were created by the Bing Copilot artificial intelligence program. And there are a couple of errors. First and foremost, as you can see, that is not exactly how Soviet stars appeared on this helmet. The helmet is not regular issue, nor is this fancy uniform. Looks close, but not exactly. And this fellow is wearing a digital watch, or it appears to be a digital watch. It's not definitely definitely not a mechanical watch where you have the dial and the case and whatnot. Now, sewer movement, as you can see on the modules on I guess the right side of this display, it was something that was introduced from the get-go in the first three scenarios of the squad leader game. It was part of the basic rule set, believe it or not, and it was played on the first geomorphic map board that was issued, the city board, board number 1. And I'll show you that in the example in a jiffy. So with no further ado, let's go on to sewer movement and we'll have a quick rules overview. I won't bore you. And then we'll do a couple of examples where I'm going to probably check out the dice rolls and do something completely random. And maybe the dice bot will give things my way and maybe it won't. So let's go on to that. Just find this thing here, okay, and click to the next one. Now, as you can clearly see, maps do have sewer locations, and according to Bravo 8, sewers and tunnels are granted by SSR only. Now, we're only going to be dealing with sewers, not tunnels. And as you can see, there's two types of sewer locations. One is denoted by a black circle in the hex, in the building hex. The other, unbeknown to many people, especially folks that come from the classic tradition, and perhaps newbies to this rule, newbies to this rule, a hex where you have a paved road which intersects on at least 3 different hex sides is a legitimate sewer location. And I'll tell you why that is important. But like I was trying to say previously, a lot of people don't know about the second sewer location, but they're quite fond of the first. Now, where I learned that was from a tutorial that I downloaded, and I forget from where I downloaded it. I'm not sure if it was from the Texas ASL or from another site. But lo and behold, I read that tutorial and I said, where in the rule book did it say that? And it said it right in the beginning of the rule set. Okay, so now we know how to find a sewer location on the geomorphic map. I wouldn't be able to tell you if there were sewers in the Hassel maps or not, but if a viewer does have the Hassel maps and is aware, they can please let us know in the comments below. Now, sewer movement begins in a manhole location, and you do a DR to find out whether you will move the units or whether your opponent will move the units. It's called what I call the lost DR, and you add +1 if the unit is already lost. Um, and then, subsequently to that, all the movement uh, factors are used to execute your movement location. At the end of the movement phase, you um, you roll again to see if you emerge or not. So there's two different tables in the rule book that provide you with the DRMs and whether you can or you can't. Now, um, harping back to what I said before, sewer movement is only provided by SSR. So just because you see a map board with sewer locations doesn't mean you can execute sewer movement. And going back to the early game of Squad Leader, right here, uh, essentially, or right there rather, essentially, in the basic game, sewer movement was only granted to the Russians because folklore says they used sewer movement at Stalingrad. And what has changed in the advanced game, advanced squad leader, is that a leader that is whose side is not otherwise granted sewer movement can take units through a sewer by passing a +4 uh, NTC, normal task check. So in this game, actually, you can have Russian units, um, provided they're granted sewer movement by SSR, moving through sewers, but you can also have your adversary moving through sewers. Interesting. Now, a couple of other important points, okay? And I think you can see all the uh, writing on the wall, so I'm not going to minimize my video. So units ending their movement in a sewer location must make a DR on the emergence chart, and it's in the rulebook under chart in section 8 of chapter B. Get that out. I don't have it. I don't think I have it in my rod charts, but it should be there. Right. And if they pass their emergence DR, they can advance out of the sewers in the advance phase and conceivably enter in close combat. And the beauty about this is that units that undertook sewer movement emerge concealed. So if they emerge concealed into a close combat location, basically they can't be held in melee unless they are attacked and uh, casualty reduced. If they are eliminated, then there is no concealment. Um, and if they attack, they lose concealment. If they choose to attack, if they don't choose to attack, they can remain concealed, and units that are concealed are not locked in melee. So it adds a lot of fluidity in terms of movement. Sewer movement adds a lot of fluidity in terms of movement in any particular scenario where it is granted. So um, what I'm suggesting is probably you should take advantage of it. Attacks. Attacks emerging from the sewer is considered hazardous movement if discovered, and they are discovered by passing an emergence DR, and um, and then here's the complicated thing, and whether or not they are capital adjacent or lowercase adjacent to a unit that has lost them. I'm not going to go into that amount of detail. I should, but I won't, because I'm pretty sure if I do, I'll bore you to death. Okay. Do's and don'ts, and this is where I gotta remove my video capture because there is some truncated text. So, B8.3, no attacks possible by vehicle, nor ordnance, IFV, OBA into a sewer. Those attacks cannot be made in a sewer location. Can't portage more than the inherent portage cost, nor push a gun through a sewer. Can't move beneath a water obstacle, hex as well. So usually, I would say you can take a LMG, that's only one portage point, or or a Panzerschreck, for example, or a DC charge through sewers, but you certainly cannot take a medium machine gun that's worth 4 portage points, or a heavy machine gun that's worth 5 portage points through a sewer location. 8.41, very interesting. If you emerge into an encircled location from a sewer, then that unit becomes CX in that encircled location. Broken and Berserk are not compatible with sewer movement. If you become broken units cannot use sewer movement. If you're broken in a sewer movement or become if you're broken in a sewer location or you become Berserk in a sewer location, you are eliminated. No forts allowed in sewers. Rubble and blaze negate sewers. Conceivably, you can throw a DC charge in there and rubble everything. And there goes your sewer. So that's my overview. Now let's do a couple of examples and see how it works. 11 minutes. And PowerPoint is off. Let's look at our map. Here's our map. Let's zoom in a moment, okay? Let's zoom in here. All right, so we got a situation here where we have quite a few German units defending this building here. This is famously known as the Tractor Works since the classic game. In the classic scenarios as well, for ASL, this is the famous Tractor Works. Much more different than the Hassel maps, I suppose, from red barricades and whatnot. Okay, so let's say it's the Russian movement, and typically sewer movement is 3 locations, a maximum of 3 locations away. So how you begin is you announce that you're conducting sewer movement, and this fellow is in a sewer location. He's going to go 3 X's away to there. And why doesn't he want to merge there is because once he passes the emergence spiral, he can be fired at point blank fire with a -2, mind you, for hazardous movement. So he declares Y3 as his location. Now what you got to do is do your emergence die roll, and you need anything but a 6 or a 7, and the only way you can get a 7 is if you were lost to begin with. Alright, so do I need the map for that? Do I need the charts for that? I don't think so, but I'll keep them handy. Alright. So let's roll it and see what happens. 1d6. 3. I made it. And typically now, this fellow is like so, and then he is placed on, well, let's see, if we flip this one, like so. Okay, let's move this fellow to W5. And we'll roll. 1. He made it. What the heck was that? Sometimes, I'm not going to say Vassal behaves funny, it's just dexterity. Clone, put him there. Now, I don't believe they're still known because they haven't emerged. Okay? And just for the sake of it, let's try and emerge there. Alright, so we'll go there. 2 X's away. Let's see. And he made it. I was hoping he didn't. Long. Now let's say he rolled a 6. Had he rolled a 6, then the German player, okay, let's say he rolled a 6, then the German player can determine where he will emerge, and the German player can conceivably put this unit right there. Now let's call defensive fire phase, and we'll do the emergence die roll. First for this fellow. And what appears there is manhole location is occupied by other falling units. Nope. Manhole location in a building location unoccupied by enemy units or in non-building location, not in loss. I would say I'll give that -1 to him. Or all such locations is hindered by plus greater than +2. Okay, no. Sewer units are currently lost. No. Per good order MMC in manhole location. No. Enemy non-dummy units in adjacent location. Here. So it's a straight up roll. We have to roll anything but actually 4 or less. And I believe the cumulative DRM for the emergence DR just cancel each other out. So here it comes. 2, he emerges. And he is slated to emerge in the advanced phase. Can emerge, right? So during the advanced phase, they're out. Here, it's pretty much the same thing. So let's roll. 3, he can emerge. And they're concealed. And they're concealed. Good. Now let's see what this happens here. So in this case, it's pretty much the same thing. So let's do our dice roll. Rolls a 3. He can emerge. So at a given point in time, since he is emerging in the advanced phase, I am not sure at this point in time if he can fire here and he can fire there, and these guys can fire a group there. I still think that there are under the, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're under the sewer movement until the advanced phase. So under 8.44, yeah. So cannot emerge, can emerge concealed at owner's option during the advanced phase, not subject to the defensive fire in the end turn. If I rolled a 5 or a 6, cannot emerge during the game turn, not subject to defensive fire in the end turn. If I rolled a 7, cannot emerge during the game turn, subject only to defensive fire from any opposing infantry in manhole location, but without benefit of concealment, although concealment is not lost. So depending on what your emergence die roll is, your opponent may be able to fire at you. But in this case, all the units are kind of successful, except in this case, he may have been lost because he rolled a 6. But he still rolled 4 or less. So they can all emerge in the advancing fire phase, in the advanced phase. So basically what would happen in the advanced phase, they're now in the enemy location, in the victory location, and not a bullet scratched them. Now, what will transpire in the German turn is that these guys will start firing at them, but these guys just gain concealment. And in this case, this guy probably emerged in the advanced phase, but he's out in the open. And the leader will probably wipe him out. 24 even attack. Let's do a 24 even attack. 6 on the 24 is a 4 check. Let's assume a ELR of 3. So 6 even attack on the 24 is a 4 check. Heat of battle. Holy cannoli. So he's rushing, right? Let's do the heat of battle roll. And the allied AI. I rolled my own AI. Let's do the allied heat of battle roll. Let's see what will transpire out of this one. God. So heat of battle. He's Russian. So it's a +2. Let's roll that as well. 7 plus 2 is 9. This dude just turned berserk. Let's say he prep fire now. Okay, let's roll here. So this would be a 6 up 2 because he's concealed, halved, and doubled. 8 on 6. That's a pentasteric. Yep. Task check. First the leader and then the squad. Pinned and pinned. They're both pinned. And he prep fired. And this dude over here, we can fire group and put an 8 up. No, yeah, an 8 up 3. That's nothing. So what we got out of that is this guy's pinned. This guy's berserk. This guy still is concealed. Now go ahead and attack a concealed unit and risk being ambushed by him. And then what would happen is do an ambush withdraw. Why attack at 1 to 2 and give this guy a shot at 2 to 1? So, ladies and gentlemen, 22 minutes in. That's in a nutshell, how sewer movement can work. And Dennis Freeberg gave me a wake-up call. Slapped me across the face when we were playing Commissar's House with sewer movement on this. Well, was it this game board? Well, sewer movement didn't transpire on this game board, but the one adjacent to it. And I said to myself, "Holy cow! It's remarkable that a unit can move beyond your lines, and then you got to worry about maybe a lone half squad that will block your route locations just by virtue of being behind your lines." So worth checking out, and that's all I got for you guys. I might do some starter kit movies later on in the week. Today, at the time of taping, it is Tuesday at 6:34 p.m. Last week, forgive me if I didn't publish anything on Saturday, but I did 3 videos. Took a lot out of me because I do also have a full-time job, and busy season for me is starting. We are going to be doing some successful releases pretty soon, I hope. And I also started a different channel for my tax videos. So this channel alone will be exclusively for Advanced Squad Leader. I know that this was my first channel on YouTube ever, inspired by my son and my producer, Yanni Hiotis. Thank you, Yanni. And advisor Michael Hiotis, channel advisor, my eldest son. Check out his video, playing the guitar. He's into Nirvana, rock from the 90s. Yeah, so this channel will, going forward, thanks to Dan and Artie, is going to be exclusively for Advanced Squad Leader. I'm going to have a different channel for everything else, including food, maybe not, but for tax, and it will move to another channel in the near future. And with that said, I'd like to thank all the subscribers, old and new. Thanks for watching the videos. Spread the word around, and I should have some more interesting content pretty soon. Oh yeah, some computer games that have been inspired by Advanced Squad Leader, I will reserve the right to play them on this channel as well. Take care and have a good one. Roll low, and I wish everybody a swell holiday season. Take care.